date night doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, Aaron and I are going to have a romantic Valentine's Day for nothing. We're going to have pizza date night at home. It's going to cost us nothing at all. But if you're new to our channel, we are the Candy Couple. We are a small, debt-free family living and saving big on one income. And we're going to show you exactly how we're going to do that today. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We do this, we share how we live and save big on one income every single week through pantry challenges, through saving on your grocery budget, saving on your electric budget, all the time. This is what we do. So what are we doing this week? This week is our pantry challenge, and we're doing a Valentine's Day week. But we're also going to do our regular cooks. So we're doing date night. And for Aaron and me, it's pizza. Pizza and movie night. That is what we do. Now, we do not do, chick flick movies. That is not my cup of tea. I'm an action movie girl. I'm not your romance movie girl. I like an action movie. It's what I like to watch. It's just how I am. I'm a Western girl, McClintock all the way. It's what I watch with my papa. But that's just who I am. The good, the bad, the ugly. I grew up with that. Anyways, so that's what we'll be doing this evening. And we'll be having homemade pizzas. Because this is what we like to eat. Whenever we were dating, that's what we had. We would have pizzas. We would go buy them. We wouldn't make them homemade. We would buy pizzas and we would eat them over the weekend. We would get two and we would have them for dinner. We would have them for lunch. We would just have cold pizza throughout the weekend. And now that we're watching how we eat, we make them homemade. We're watching our budget, making them homemade. It saves us a lot of money, especially with our buffalo chicken pizza, because buffalo chicken is expensive. It's so much more expensive. So let's get started. Now with our rest of our meal plan, what we're making is for breakfast, we're going to be making homemade omelets. Remember, I have chickens, they're laying eggs. I'm getting anywhere from it depends on the day. Sometimes I'm getting 8 eggs. One day I got 14 eggs, 15 eggs. So it depends on the day. They're still laying even if there's 10 inches of snow on the ground. So we are still getting eggs even in the snow. I'm having to go out twice a day. Some of them are getting a little frozen because it's so cold right now. That's okay because we're still getting the majority of the eggs. We're going out twice a day. So we're doing omelets for breakfast. We are doing, for lunch, we're doing sandwiches for Aaron and Isabel and fruit. We got grapes for some of our fruits this week and bananas. So they're going to have sandwiches and fruit. I'm going to be having omelets because I have a big old bowl of eggs here and we have a lot of eggs to eat. So I'm going to have omelets and fruit. And then for dinner, we are going to have spicy ziti and potatoes and sausage. So let's jump into dinner first. We will get to the pizzas. And for dessert, we're also going to be making some brownies for our date night. So let's get started. So here's what we have. My lovely little pans. And I'm doing these little pans because they worked out so well. It's so cold for us right now. It's just bitterly cold. Bitter cold. And these pans have worked out really, really well for us because of the way that because we've had to actually use the stove so long every day, our wood burning stove, that I've just put these pans on top of the wood stove and they've heated the food up. I've not had to use a convection oven because we have the wood stove. Put these on for about an hour and a half before dinner time. Hey, our food's heated, the house is warm, and it works. So I have 6 of these meals because remember, we're having pizza night. And when I make pizzas, I always try to make a few extras. So we're hoping to make 5 batches of pizza, 1 for date night, and 1 for 4 for dinners to go in the freezer. So I have pasta pre-cooked, and we have potatoes and carrots. So these are canned potatoes and canned carrots. And I have some cooked sausage. So this was 3 packs of sausage we have cooked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split it between here. So we're just going to go ahead and get all of this split up in here. We're just going to put it between each of these. And I need a different spoon because that one's just going to take me forever. And I went ahead and cooked up the sausage, cut it up, and it just works really well. So for my little one, I call these hot dogs because it works for her. She really likes them. We call them hot dogs. And she's like, ooh, hot dogs and pasta. And I'm like, yeah, we're having hot dogs and pasta. And she's like, I like hot dogs and pasta. Whatever it takes to get it to eat. Because they don't taste like hot dogs. But for her, it works. So, whatever it takes to get the food in the belly. Because if I call them sausages, she will not eat them. So we have to do what it takes to get the food in the belly. And it's not necessarily, I don't consider it fibbing. I just consider it, you know, whatever it takes. And this was a big family pack of sausage that I did. Normally I would just do 2 of these for one meal. I would do like 2 of the Hillshire Farm. This was Hillshire Farm, but the actual family size turned out to be cheaper than buying 2 of them. I was actually able to get a big deal on those at the grocery store when I did the math per ounce. So it actually turned out to be a little cheaper. So this has a lot of grease in it, like a ton of grease. When I look at this, so you can see, I'll show it to you, because it's way more grease than I want. So what I'm going to do, I've got a scrap bucket here. And before you all yell at me about my eggshells, trust me, yes, they are big. Yes, I know they are big. And it doesn't really matter. I've not had any problems with them this way. My chickens will still go after them. That has not been an issue for us at this point in time. I'll break them up a little bit more. So I feed them back to my chickens. And I also put them in our garden at a certain point too. So I'm going to get this back on. And what I'm going to do is I've got 3/4 of a cup of pasta water here. Because we are going to make our sauce for our pasta here. Get that back in there. And I've got some tomatoes. These were canned tomatoes. I did run them through my food mill to get the seeds out, because remember I told you I had some seeds in here, and I am trying to separate those. These were some older tomatoes. I did that last year. I didn't do it the years before. So I have been trying to make sure I get them separated. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in the majority of these. And I'm going to leave about, let's see, I'm going to only get half of this in. So I'm going to leave a little bit of this because I want to use some of this for my pizza sauce. So I'm going to watch how much of this I actually pour in to kind of help with some of that pizza sauce to thin it out a bit. I feel like my world's a bit chaotic right now because we go from ice storm to snow flurries, and I kind of can't catch my breath between one and the other. It just doesn't seem to want to end and stop. It's like we go from one thing to the other. So I'm going to add some oregano here. I'm going to turn on the stove. Add some oregano. And I actually do need to stop this because I forgot one of the seasonings. I need to get some chili powder or chili flakes for this, some red pepper flakes, because we do need to amp up the heat. I'm not going to amp it up much because remember I have a little, so we do not want to overheat her, but we're going to add a little bit of spice to this, just a small kick, because we do want it to have some heat to it, but not a lot. So I will be back in just a second. Okay, I grabbed some more seasoning here. Let's get to it. Now, normally I would use minced garlic for this, but I am trying to use up this garlic seasoning for pizza, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this one. I'm going to put quite a bit of garlic in this because we do like the garlic flavor added. So I'm just going to add this to my sauce. Now, again, we're not Italian. I'm not claiming to be Italian or anything like that. This is just the sauce we like to have on this pasta. It's just what we enjoy. This is basil. And again, I'm going to add a good amount of basil. And if I sneeze, I apologize. It's because of all the spices. It gets in my nose a bit. And I have to be a bit careful. Okay, these are sealed. So I'm going to pop them and I have to be careful. And I'm going to get a small spoon of these because I don't want to burn anybody up. We don't want to set anybody on fire. We just want enough heat. And I gotta be careful because they'll get in your throat. Whenever I go to put these in jars, I have to be super careful because they'll get down in your throat. And don't want to set anybody on fire. I've got some Italian seasoning here. Just basic Italian blends. And I just put a dose of that in there. Just going to set all of these to the side so they're out of my way. Now, I do not grow my own herbs. Herbs come to my house to die. I know you're like, Julia, you garden, you do all these things. Yes, and I have tried to grow herbs. And let me tell you something, it's just not something I feel like I've wasted so much money trying to grow herbs. It is just not something I have had any success or luck at doing. And I plop out a whole bunch of sauce onto the floor. And please excuse if you see the towel in the floor. I'm sorry. Again, we are in snow. We were just in snow. Aaron right now, he's outside shoveling the driveway to try to get it to a point where maybe it'll start to melt. That's part of our problem is we have to shovel it to get it to where it'll start to melt because it'll be ice underneath it. We're so steep. Our property is just steep all the way around. It's nothing's really flat, and that's one of the difficulties we have where we are. So I'm going to try this really quick. And that is good. Okay. And I'm just going to let it cook for just a few seconds. And once it gets ready, we will put it in to these pans here, and they'll be ready to go. Now what I need to do is I need to start on these here. So now we're going to season these, and I'm just going to use this salt-free steak seasoning. If you have ranch seasoning, that would work really well with these. So we're just going to use salt-free steak seasoning. So again, sausage, potatoes, carrots. You can use whatever other vegetable you have. Broccoli works really well in these. Whatever, I don't have broccoli, I had carrots. I had this open. I have to season these pretty heavy. These potatoes don't have anything in them. So they're gonna need a dose of something. And these aren't done, so they're going to get some more. They're nowhere near done. So we're going to add some more stuff to them. So don't think like, is this all you're doing to this, Julia? Because I hope you're not finished. I hope you're not finished with this because we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So there's the seasoning for that. And now we need to make, here it is. So I have some butter here, but I need to pull out a half of a cup. Half of a cup here for our brownies that we're going to be making. So what I did is I put this butter on my stove so it would start to melt because it was warm, and this is how we heat our house. We are going to make cream of cheese soup. So I'm going to start that up. I'm going to add some salt. Not a lot. That butter's already salted So you do not want to add a little salt to that since it is already salted. I will need the flour. Even though I have such a big counter, sometimes I feel like I don't have enough space. Tell me in the comments below, if you have a big kitchen, is it sometimes you feel like you still don't have enough space? It doesn't matter how big my kitchen is, I still feel like I could use more and more space all the time. It never fails. I still feel like I could use an extra 10 feet. And this is about a couple, like probably about a fourth of a cup of butter I had in there. And I'm putting a couple spoonfuls of flour in there that I had. I just used the cup I had in there. And now I'm going to mix it with my fork. Now, I don't like to buy homemade cream of soups anymore. I find that making them homemade tastes 1000% better. So all I'm going to do is put this back on because I want the flour taste to be cooked out of this. And then I will add my cheese, or I will add my milk. And then I will slowly add half of this, or this cheese. Because you want to make sure you're adding your cheese. While that is working, I'm going to add some cream cheese. So we will not be baking. We will actually just bake one of these right now. We won't need to actually bake any of these just yet because we'll cook these as they are needed. So we'll pop them in the freezer until they're actually needed to eat. So these are like ready to go TV dinners like we did last week. That is actually working out extraordinarily well for me. So when I tell you I do this, I'm doing it in real time. I don't tell you to do this for my own health. I'm telling you to do this because it does work. It works out extremely well, especially if you're a busy mom and you're trying to find ways to like cut your time down. It does work. Takes a little bit of extra time, a little bit more prep, but it does help. It does help cut down your time. So I'm going to cut this into thirds because I've got 3 pans here. If I had 4, I'd cut it into 4. But for what I have, I'm cutting it into 3. If you wanted to do this in one big batch, you could do it in one big batch and then dish it out to your individual pans. You could do that. But for me, it's just as easy for me to put it into 3. And if you wanted to do these in like bags and then freeze them, you could. For me, I could just leave them in the pan because I'm going to put these straight from the pan onto the fire. So I didn't really want to waste the bag and do it that way. That didn't make sense to me. Let me stir my little pot here. And my flour should be good to go. Yes. So it's not sticking. It's not sticking. So I should be okay. So now I need to make sure I don't use all of my milk. I need to keep 1/4 of a cup of milk. So I have 2 cups of milk here. So I need to keep 1/4 of a cup of milk. And I can always add more milk to these dishes as I cook them. So I actually need to set this on the stove. I actually need to go check our fire. So give me just a second. Yeah, fireplace was going good. I had to turn it down. One of the things you have to manage. Just kind of learn to manage it all as you're working through it. I'm going to pour another half of a cup, but it is already starting to thicken up. And if you have never made homemade cream of soup before, I would tell you to go ahead and try it, because it is like one of the absolute, it is amazing. It tastes so good. It is, you will never have one that tastes any better. It's so good. And I will leave some of this so I can put it on top, just so it will melt for the top. And this was just frozen cheese. Well, actually, no, I'm saving half of this for the omelets. That's why I was doing it. So I am saving half of this for the omelets. That's right. I couldn't remember what I was saving half of it for. I feel like I have 1,000 things happening right now. The snow throws another layer on everything you have to do. It adds extra levels to all the madness that you already have going on. I feel like I didn't have enough on my plate, and it's like, let's add 1,000 more things you needed to happen, because you have to add an extra, to have extra runs to take care of the chickens, to catch eggs, and let's just add more to what you have to do during the day, which is fine. It's cool, but I needed extra to do during the day. We're staying warm. Our power has stayed on, which is good. We've been fortunate there. I know a lot of people are still dealing with power. Nashville's been awful. So it's been terrible. We pray for those people. It's awful. So let us know in the comments below if you're getting a lot of snow, or if you're getting the warm weather. We want to hear, because like I know some people have gotten this really, really warm spell on part of the country, and then some of them are getting this Arctic blast. We're in the Arctic blast. So we want to hear what you're getting. And let me know, what have you made this week in your pantry, from your pantry challenge? I'd love to hear from you. And what good deals have you gotten from the grocery store? Our grocery store, it just depends. There's been a few little deals, but for the most part, man, the deals have been so minimal. And I feel like my grocery store has just been failing me lately. Like ever since last year, I feel like my deals are so few and far between. I feel like if I see a good grocery store deal, I almost have to use my whole month's grocery budget that month. I'm gonna have to start looking at other stores and in other cities like every single week, just to see if there's any good deals at those grocery stores, just to see if we need to make a trip, if we need to plan like our chicken feed trips to go to those grocery stores, just to see if we can get a better deal. Now it's thick enough. What I'm waiting on is I'm waiting for all that cheese to melt, so you can see. Look at this. Look at this. It looks so good. And this was a sharp cheddar and a Monterey Jack, or a medium cheddar. I don't do sharp cheddars very much. I try to do like a medium cheddar. I don't do any of the extra sharps, and I try to keep that minimum, because they say if you have high acid reflux, the extra sharp cheddars can actually increase that. So I've actually stayed away from those because of that. But if you're looking for a way to cut your costs with cheese, you can get those extra sharp cheddars, because they add a lot more flavor for less. You don't have to use as much because they're so much stronger in taste. You can use those instead. It can help cut your cost. So, and don't skip this particular part of this. You have to have the cream soup. You have to. It adds so much creaminess and richness to this, and you have to have the cream and cheddar. You just do. You cannot skip the cream and cheddar soup. I tried it. It just didn't pan out. It didn't work. So you can try it with cream and chicken. I didn't like it. Erin didn't like it. So you have to have the cream of cheddar. You just do. It just doesn't taste as good. I've just found I can make it homemade for a lot cheaper. For us, cream of cheddar is going to cost me around $2 to $3 per little can. I can make so much, and you need about 2 cans of it. I can make twice as much for so much less. So look at that. Look at that. And it tastes so much better once you make it homemade. I mean, look at how easy that was. How easy was that? It sounds like making homemade cream of soup would be so hard. It's not. And then we're going to pour all that in there. All that ooey gooey goodness. This is really just like a dump and go dish. Like you literally dump everything into the pot and let it go. Now, what we'll be having with the pasta is going to be sweet potatoes. I'm not going to cook those today. We'll just bake them, and I'll show you what they are here in a minute. As soon as I get finished. Get out. Here, trying to get all the cheese off of my little fork here. Give me a little spoon. I got Aaron this little bowl. I think I use it more than he ever has. I got him this for whenever we make barbecue sauce, because he needed a little pot for, he would use this big pot to try to pour, and we ended up getting him one that was non-stick. Well, we got rid of all of our non-stick stuff, so we got a stainless steel one. But I think I use these more than he ever does. I use it for everything. Okay, so all done. Yummy goodness. You saw how thick that got, and it looks amazing. It smells so good. And we're just going to give this a little bit of a quick stir. I don't really care too much if it's too incorporated in here. It will get incorporated whenever it cooks. And you can add a little bit more milk to this, or some water, whatever you want to do. Milk would probably be better though, if you have some. And you can have your pantry milk to it as well. I will use whatever leftover milk I have there. Whoop! And I just pop that off. I'm a little dangerous in the kitchen today. Kind of what it's going to look like, as you can see. So we'll get that on in the oven, the little convection oven here, in a few minutes. But it looks so good. It smells amazing. It's going to taste amazing too. Now let's get these finished. This is one of Aaron's favorite dishes. I would say this is one of the things that he would ask for all the time. We used to have it a lot more, but where I can't make it as hot as Aaron likes, we don't have it as often, because I can't make it as warm as he would prefer, simply because of the little one. Because I would use that, I would normally do like 2 to 3 of these spoonfuls. That is how hot I would make it. I can't do that because of her. So we are going to fill this up with the sauce. I'm gonna make sure all of it's coated. It is good. And this is one dish that, if you do like it warm, you can make it as warm or not as warm as you want. You could absolutely leave out the pepper. You do not need the red pepper flakes at all. It is still good. If you do put the red pepper flake in it, you put this in the freezer, understand it gets hotter when you freeze it. Like, we have put this in the freezer before, and it has gotten even hotter the longer it has sat. Like, I mean, we're talking even hotter. I don't know why. It's just one of those dishes, like the longer it sits, the hotter it tends to get. And that's just not even with me putting more red pepper flakes into it. It just tends to be one of those dishes that the longer it sits, it just keeps getting hotter, but it also keeps getting better. It's just also one of those dishes, the longer it sits, the better it gets. It's really good. And the pasta I use, I just use one of the pastas I have in there. You can use whatever type of pasta you like. It is a ziti. Most people would use ziti. I use whatever. I'm not like a pasta snob. I don't really care. I just use whatever pasta it's going to work the best with. I just use whatever I grab out of the pantry. Whatever I think my little one can eat the best with. Whichever one she can eat the most without having to have help with mom. It's what I tend to grab. The least amount of effort for me. Which one do I don't have to cut? This one looks the least messy. I'm going to give this a really quick stir to see if it needs how much we'll need any more. Now, the sauce might look a little watery, and that's okay. It's going to, because it's a homemade sauce from canned tomatoes. I don't cook my canned tomatoes down super, super thick. And that's okay. You know, it's going to depend on if you do use homemade tomatoes, if you do that. If you're using a homemade tomato sauce like from the can, it's probably going to be thicker than mine. That is okay. It just really depends on what you're using. I want mine like that because it's going to soak into the noodle. It's going to be a little thicker. And when I go to put this on the stove, I'm not going to have to add a lot of water to it. Or if I go to put this into the oven, because it's going to take a little bit of time to heat it up. Or if you go to put it in, you know, microwave, which you wouldn't put it in a metal pan in the microwave, of course. You can see how pretty these look. So pretty. It smells so good. I haven't made this for Aaron in probably 4 or 5 months now. I know he's excited. When he saw this on the calendar, he was like, yes. It's, again, one of his favorites. And it is turning into one of Isabel's favorites. When I first made this, when she was little, like, we were starting solids, and I made her pasta. I made her butter noodles with Parmesan cheese on them. And I thought that would be good. No, she wanted to try our pasta. I was like, you can't have my pasta. She was maybe one and a half, something like that. Like, she was so little. I was like, you're going to burn yourself up. She's like, I want that. I want that. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I gave her a bite. More. I want more of that. I'm like, okay. So I had to mix it with her pasta because I was a little worried. I was like, I'm going to burn her up. I had not left it, and I left out a lot of the pepper flake just in case it got mixed up. But I left out a little bit of the pepper flake because I didn't want to burn her up just in case she got a hold of any of it. But she kept eating more and more of it. And I had to mix it with hers just because she wanted more. So I'm going to take some of this mozzarella cheese and I'm going to put it on top. Now, I would tell you, you don't have to have the cheese, but it does make it a lot better. It really does. It is one of those things that it will feel like you're missing something if you leave out the cheese after you've had it with it. Because whenever I leave out the cheese, because we don't have it for a pantry challenge or something, it does feel like we're missing cheese. It feels like something's just, like, okay, like, this is okay, but what's wrong with this? Like, why is this, it's okay, but I feel like something's just not quite there. Okay. A little bit more to this one. Okay, so these are done, ready to go, beautiful, perfect, and we'll get those ready for the fridge and the freezer. And like I said, I love these itty bitty little dishes. Like, they worked out so much. They've been working out so much better than I ever thought they would. I think Aaron didn't think I was going to use them as much as I actually do. Kind of like Rosie. He never thought I would use Rosie as much as I do. She's my vacuum mop, and I use her just about every day, if not more. It makes my life so much easier, just so much easier. All right, now let's make these brownies for date night. So I have 3 eggs here. Now my brownies, I'm cheating because I'm trying to clean up my pantry. We have a pantry challenge, so I have these keto brownies that we got. We're cheating because we're trying to get rid of stuff here. So that's why we're going to go ahead and use these brownies. So we're just going to follow the directions. We're going to do these keto. You could do them paleo. They actually were pretty good. I got these whenever I was doing a more carnivore-esque diet and I needed something sweet for our anniversary. I'm one of those where you can't tell me I can't have something sweet whenever for something like that. It's just, I would have not handled that well. So I found these at our grocer's outlet, and they were really reasonable. And I tried them. They're not bad. They taste pretty good, and we'll just get rid of them here and eat them up. But they don't make a lot, so it's a very small batch, so you don't get a huge amount for them. It's a very, very little dish. And it was 1/2 cup of butter, 2 eggs. My eggs are small, so I did 3. And let me get the rest of this out and I will look at what else is there. I need to cut this open just a little bit more. And 1/4 cup of milk. So I need to get rid of the rest of this milk. Of course, I should have kept that cup. Okay, so what we will do is I will pour until I get there. Be very careful. We're eyeballing it. Let me know in the comments below, are you a close enough cook or are you a exact? Like I bake to I use my scale kind of cook. I'm a close enough cook, if you hadn't noticed. I'm a as close as it needs to be cook because that's what works for me. And this is it. So as soon as I turn on my little convection oven, I'll get this in it. It'll bake. It needs to be, my eggs are at room temperature, so everything is good to go. I try to set all that out at room temperature because I feel like it does better. It bakes better, it cooks better. And we'll cook it until it is finished based on the instructions here on the box. And now let's do the omelets because they are the next thing on the list. So I have our eggs and I have a huge bowl of eggs here, and I know you all are looking at me like I am crazy. Yes, I know I am a little bit. And that is because we had a lot of eggs and I needed to use them up, or a good deal of them up, because we'll have a lot of eggs next week as well. But we will eat these, and I will be eating these for breakfast and lunch. I typically don't eat a lot of carbs for breakfast and lunch. I try to eat more protein, and I will eat more carbs for dinner, a few more carbs for dinner, but I do try to eat more protein. Have an omelet maker. I don't make omelets on the stove. I don't make omelets in a pan. I'm not good at making omelets on the stove or in a pan at all. Period. I have tried. I can't do it. I can't flip him. I don't know how. I've just tried it, and I will break them. They end up into scrambles. So whenever I asked for an omelet maker, and that's what I have. Works for me. So have my little omelet maker. We're going to use it. It needs to get a little bit warm. And what we're going to do, I'm going to make about 8 of these with nothing in them but salt and cheese. Because the little one, she will not want anything in them. She is more of like a simple, if I put anything else in them, she's less likely to eat them. And I also boiled eggs for her because she loves boiled eggs. Hard boiled eggs. She can eat them. She'll ask for them all the time. So she will just eat hard boiled eggs. So I'm going to take the rest of this cheese, pour it in here. We're not going to add any milk, anything like that. Just salt, cheese, egg. We don't need to. And then after we make about 8 of these, what we will do is we will add in some, some turkey, some canned turkey, and it's just canned turkey breast. So I'm waiting for this to get warmed up right now, and I will be right back. Okay, so we've got our first one going. I'll show you what that looks like. Now let's start on our pizzas. So pizzas. I make my pizzas really thin. I've got my dough already made. I'll show you the recipe. Now, my pizza dough, we keep it really simple. Super simple, super easy. This is my pizza dough. Super easy. And I have a video where I show you how I make homemade pizzas. That will be the video we will link at the end of this one. And what I do is I do a big batch bake of a lot of homemade pizzas for us. And here's our dough. And I did it ×4. Because if I'm going to make one pizza, let me tell you, I'm making more than one. I'm going to put some in my freezer because guess what? Mama's out. Mama's out of homemade pizzas. And my little one, we do family movie night. And she said, "Are we having pizza?" And I'm like, "No, because guess what? We're out of pizzas." So we can't have family movie night because we're out of pizza. Mama ran out. So, oops. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I'll take care of it. I'll get on that task for you. Now, what I'm doing different this time, my 2 pizzas are going to fit on this because I do 2 pizzas at a time. They're smaller. They're made just for us for one time, but they're going to fit down this. So we're going to make them so they fit down the middle. So 1, 2, this will be just right, just perfect for us at one go around. I need to check my little omelets, make sure they're done. Have to check them on the inside because they look done on the outside, but they might not oh, excuse me, be quite done on the inside. And this is not, nope, overfill that a little bit. I have a little bit of a mess to clean up. I overfilled it just a bit. I have to be careful with that the next time. So how I got my dough to rise this time, what I've been doing to get my dough to rise right now. Our house is a bit cold whenever I start our videos. I've actually been setting it in front of the fireplace. So that's what I've been doing to get the dough to rise. And it's actually been working really well. I've been getting a good rise right now. I just have to make sure that it doesn't, if I'm opening it, and I usually don't open the stove door whenever I'm getting in there or anything like that. I make sure that I move the dough or anything like that. So it feels nice and warm. It's got a good elasticity. So I'm going to split this into 5. This is my goal here. I want to get 5 pizzas out of this. And again, I roll this really thin. And that one is still not quite done. But that one is. So we're going to go ahead and pop this one out and I'll show you what it looks like. There's our little omelet. But you are nowhere near done. So we're going to go ahead and just flip it over onto the other side. I usually try to be really careful about not overfilling these, so I kind of messed up there a bit. So split these into 5, and I want them to kind of be 5 even pieces. This one's a little bigger. This one's a little smaller. And they're about right. Okay, so this one. Just trying to make sure all the pieces feel about the same. Okay, there we go. Now I just kind of roll into my individual balls, and then I will split them into 2 and get them to work in our pan. But I'm going to do our first one to where it fits into it. And I will actually put these on parchment paper because our pizzas will, the first one I won't, are the ones we'll be having tonight for dinner. Because remember, tonight's date night. And date night, movie night. So it's a perfect night for a date night, movie night. And I'm actually going to let this one cook, and then I will deal with that after, because I can't go between pizza and the omelet. That's just too much for me. And I do keep my pizzas a little bit more on the rustic side. I don't really care if they're like perfect, pristine, beautiful. I just kind of keep them more on the rustic side. That's okay for us. I'm not one of those who has to be like beautiful, pristine pizzas. As long as they taste good. That's all that matters. They have to taste good. And they have to freeze good. And then taste good afterwards. And the reason I make so many at one time is because when you're making pizza, it's kind of like an assembly line anyways. So it doesn't make sense for me not to go ahead and make a couple whenever I'm doing it, since it's just as easier for me to go ahead and make several at once. But I'm going to show you what it looks like to make one, and then I'll get the others made to go in the freezer, and I'll show you what that looks like towards the end. But we'll definitely link that video down below so you can see it, because we've had a lot of questions about that. And it does save us a lot of money because my dough recipe, I want to say, cost, it's like $1. It's like less than $1 or something like that to make it. It's super cheap. It's so cheap to make pizza dough. So we're gonna work on getting this pulled out. This is really the hardest part. But I do have to watch my little omelet here, and it is done. Let me show you this one. This one got perfect. I didn't overfill it. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, and I will finish those in a little bit because I need to get these pizzas going. So here we go. So this is the hardest part for me making homemade pizza. It's going to be getting the dough rolled out. It really is. I find this is the most difficult part. It's not making the dough. It's not dealing with the dough. It's literally rolling out the dough. And I make my dough by hand. I do not use a stand mixer or anything like that. I do have a stand mixer, but I did blow it up. So, before any of you all say you have a stand mixer, yeah, I did. And she doesn't work anymore. Because, yeah, I wore her out really fast. I think I used her 3 times and then she stopped working. We talked about replacing it, and we probably will eventually, but I'm doing okay making these things myself. It's just not something that makes sense for us to replace just yet. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this off. To push it in. Again, I don't really care about this being perfect. I don't care that it's not round. I just care that it fits this pan, in particular this pan, because this pan is my convection oven pan. And I want it to fit this pan because this pan is the one we use for cooking instead of our oven. So there we go. There's our dough. Now I am going to take a fork and I'm going to poke a couple of holes. It's really quick, really fast. I need to get a bowl. Now, let's make our sauce really fast. So, we are going to take the rest of our tomato sauce here. And I'm going to have too much of this, but that is okay. We'll freeze it, and we will use it for more pizzas later. So that is okay. Now I am going to put a lot of pepperoni on this. My little one told me last time I did not put enough pepperoni on her pizza. So I heard her. She said I needed to put more pepperoni on the pizza. Okay. I got it. I got the memo. I went too light last time. I'm putting some tomato paste. I'm going to put a whole can in here. because it amps up the flavor here of the tomato. Now you can use just the can of tomato paste. I'm using the tomato paste of the tomato sauce just because I have the tomato sauce already instead of using water. I thought it would be more of a little bit thicker and more of that tomato flavor, just to give it more of a of the tomato. And I need my oregano once again. And my oregano looks a little weird. Yes, I know it does. If you're looking at it, whenever I combined all my jars of oregano and I cleaned out my pantry, I had a powdered oregano. Pure powdered, and I poured it in here because it was oregano. So, poured in some oregano. And that is it. Now we're going to mix it up carefully. I should have gotten a bigger bowl, but I didn't, and we're going to make it work. Let me know in the comments below how many of you all do this. I feel like I've seen this happen to a few other YouTubers, much bigger than us, but yeah, I feel like I've seen this happen to others where they start to cook and they realize they need a much bigger bowl and they don't have a bigger bowl and they have to make it work or get a bigger bowl. Let me know in the comments below. Do you do that? Because I feel like this is my habit more often than not. I used to do this with beef stew all the time. I've gotten much better, but yeah. This is where we are in life right now. I don't want to dirty another dish. I've already got a sink full of dishes I have to wash. I don't want to dirty another dish. So all I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get all of that tomato paste incorporated. And like I said, you can use water to thin out that tomato paste. All I'm doing is using the tomato sauce to kind of thin it out, just because I had it and I didn't need it all that tomato sauce, but I needed more than what I had. I needed more than 2 jars. I knew I was going to need 2.5 at least. Okay, here we go. Now, start putting this together. So, we're going to do put a good dollop of this on here, probably 2. And like I said, I always do these to where I have a good amount on here. And what I will do is I will put this on parchment paper. I'll par bake these crusts, and then I'll put the toppings on them, and then I'll put them in parchment paper, fold it over, and freeze them in a bag. And then we'll pull them out when they're ready, and then just set them on the tray and they'll thaw out. It works really, really well. I've had no issues at all, and they take maybe an hour to thaw out, and they take maybe 5 to 10 minutes to cook, depending on how long it takes to cook. This is the first time I've used my little convection oven for it, but in all reality, it takes hardly any time at all. Take our pepperoni. This pepperoni I get on sale. I get it at our Grocer's Outlet. I have found Grocer's Outlet is my best place to get pepperoni. I can get it for under $2, and I can get the good pepperoni, not the cheap pepperoni. So what I do is when we go, I get a bunch of it. I mean, we're talking anywhere from 8 to 10 bags of it. I don't get small amounts, so when I say I get a lot of pepperoni. Because my little one will eat pepperoni. If I need pepperoni, if I need to make sure she's going to eat lunch, or I need to make sure I have something easy for her to have on hand, this is going to be my go-to lunch, or my go-to meal for her. It's going to be like a snackum of pepperoni and cheese every single time. I'll make like a homemade Lunchable. And you can cut back the amount of pepperoni, but like I said, she asked for more. told me it didn't have enough. Aaron won't complain either. It is really good. It's really good. This one's a little spicy, but it is tasty. It's worked really well with the pasta dishes I've made it in. And the few, I think I've made like some pepperoni roll-ups with it, and the pizza rolls. It was really good with that as well. Okay, now let's make our buffalo chicken. Now this is mine and Aaron's favorite. We love this pizza. It's what, I mean, we've gotten it so many times, it's not even funny. But you can't find, it's hard to find a good one. Hard to find one where they don't add a lot of extra stuff to it. Like bacon or onions. Or if they don't put enough sauce on it. That is key. You got to put enough sauce on it. Because we got one time, like they put like a drizzle of buffalo sauce. Like, no, I want enough sauce to taste it. So we're gonna put a good layer of buffalo sauce on here, all the way to the edge. If you notice, I put sauce all the way to the edge of ours. And then I am trying to keep these spoons here. So I'm actually going to use my little flour cup. We're going to use that in just a second. Now I have some chicken. We're going to pull out some of this chicken here. It's just home canned chicken. It's perfectly fine. You can use whatever canned chicken you want. If you have canned chicken or fresh chicken, whatever you have. I'm just using some of our own home canned chicken. It was just home canned chicken breast. I can chicken because I don't trust our freezers if we lose power. We do shelf stable, but if we lose power, we're likely to lose our freezers. We have had that happen before, so it just makes better sense for us. And I'm going to spread this out. We want enough chicken on here that we get a taste, but we don't want too much chicken. So you see I made a huge difference between the chicken and the pepperoni. I can put too much chicken on this for Aaron. We want just enough. And I'm telling you, perfect date night. Like $0. This is like the perfect date night for us. I couldn't make anything better. And action night, movie night, I'm singing his song. So I'm going to set this to the side because I'll need it for the others. And then I'm going to put our cheese on top of this. And I will have to do some more cheese, but I do have another block of the mozzarella for this. Now I am one who does not do like just whatever random cheese I have on hand for pasta or pizza. I will just do mozzarella. I'm not really particularly fond of that. I made sure I did have mozzarella cheese for our pizzas. It was on sale and I did pick it up, so. And I have one more little drizzle here to do on the top of our buffalo chicken. Open up the new one. So we do get our buffalo chicken. We get it at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I don't know if it's went up to $1.50 yet. So I do know some of our prices have went up. So it could go up to $1.50, but that would be okay because it's still cheaper than getting it at the other stores. This is one that we do like the taste of. The ingredients aren't terrible, and it's just, I mean, it's just one of those things that you just try to find the best that you can for the best price. And here we go. There it is. Our pizza night. Perfect. It's lovely. Can't wait to have it. Can't wait to taste it. It smells amazing. I haven't even baked it yet. It smells amazing. So now I'm gonna get all of this cooking because all of it goes in my convection oven. So now I gotta get it all cooking in its own, you know, phases. So we're gonna get everything cooking and everything ready to go and eat. Aaron will taste test it, and we'll be surprising him with a $0 date night here in a few minutes. So when we come back, he'll do a taste test and he'll let you know what he thinks of our $0 date night movie night. So our $0 date night.
Pizza.
That's a perfect date night for us, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Okay, so got everything to try, so I will try the breakfast first.
Just missing hot sauce.
That's what I was going to say.
I know, just missing your hot sauce.
Besides that, really good. Okay, what's this?
Those are potatoes with homemade cream of cheddar sauce and cream cheese and some seasoning. I added some carrots and sausage. What do you think?
That's good.
You like that?
Baked ziti?
Spicy ziti. Not as spicy as we like it, but spicy enough, but not super spicy.
Right. It's definitely not as spicy as
We would used to
me and you would.
eat it. We gotta think of the baby. But it's still good.
Still one of my favorites. Okay. So now I got pizza. Buffalo chicken's always one of my favorite. Okay, and cheese.
No, it's pepperoni.
Pepperoni, me. That's very good. I always love these pizzas. These are so good.
I made 4 of each to go in the freezer. And I made them so they fit the convection oven. So they fit perfect in the convection oven.
So that will save us some money.
Instead of having to turn on the
Instead of
oven.
having to turn on the oven.
Yep.
Hey, you can't beat that. So everything looks good. Tastes amazing. If you're wondering how we do those pizzas, we've also got another video we'll link to after this, how we did big bulk ones of those. And if you really enjoyed this, you know, you can always go and check out our link tree where you'll find all of our other content. And as always, thank you for joining us on The Kenny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy our frugal life. Have a good day.